I recently acquired a press kit for Bully, and since most of you probably don't know what a press kit is, let's ask Google. A press kit, often referred to as a media kit in business environments, is a pre-packaged set of promotional materials of a person, company, or organization distributed to members of the media for promotional use. They are often distributed to announce a release or for a news conference. Basically, it's a tiny book with some pictures and text describing the new and upcoming game titled Bully for the PS2. Keep in mind though that this was all 10 years ago, so most of this stuff is either outdated or was changed later during development. Unfortunately, this press kit did not involve a CD of the pre-release version of Bully. It did, however, contain some juicy and top-secret screenshots of Bully that were never shown to the public. And I am here now to bring you these pictures. I will also upload every single page of the book, including the front and back cover, so that you guys can browse these for yourselves. But back to the book itself. The front cover displays a plain logo along with the Rockstar Games brand logo at the bottom right. The back cover features a shiny Bullworth Academy crest logo along with a shiny text at the bottom for the URL of the game. As you open the press kit, you see a couple of things. First of all, a thin book with a total of 14 pages along with a cute tiny yellow card. On the back of the card, you'll see the contact information of one of the Rockstar Games employees along with the address, floor, and location that he worked at the time. On page 1, we have some beautiful concept art of the principal's office. Not much else is really on the first 2 pages, so let's continue. Skimming over to page 3, you'll see that at the bottom of the left corner there is a beta version of the boys' dorm with 2 stories. Not much else is really shown on this page. Rockstar just kind of go through the basic plot of Bully along with the overall style of it. On page 4, we have some really fucking cool shit. Connecting individuals. First of all, Bob is seen in the background on this picture. If you don't know who Bob is, then I'll give you a quick summary. Bob is a removed beta character, which was originally supposed to be a jock. He's still present in the game files and can actually be enabled to spawn in free roam via modding, though he looks significantly different with a thinner body type and a wrestling uniform instead. If you look closely in the background, you'll notice that the scoreboard was a non-electronic variant at this point of development, meaning that there was no scrolling text like there is in the big game. On the bottom right corner, you'll see this image that I just adore. Where do I begin to tell the story of how great a love can be? First of all, you'll see that Jimmy originally had a pair of jeans along with brown boots instead of the white sneakers and beige khakis that he does in the official game. In the back, you'll see that Gord is actually wearing his beta uniform along with some grey pants and brown shoes. And on the right side, you'll see Thad along with another student, supposedly Trevor. The student has light blue jeans along with a blue sweater and white sneakers. I'm not sure whether or not he's actually talking to Thad or trying to fight him, but by the looks of it, it seems like he's playing this animation. On page 5, we can see a beautiful design of how the front of the academy was supposed to look like. The gates were smaller and featured 2 statues on top, along with what looks like a sidewalk on the inside leading out. Perhaps this was meant to originally be the entrance to the parking lot. And on page 6, we can see a quick summary of some of the Bullworth Academy faculty. The only character featured in their beta stage of development is actually Miss Danvers. In this book, she's referred to as Mrs. Danvers and has a more detailed facial texture. You can also note that the office behind her has 1 more desk, while in the official version there is only 1. Looking over to page 7, you'll see a nice hallway concept art with what looks like either a student, teacher, or prefect in the far distance looking back. On the walls, you can see coats hung from a low rack. This could have possibly been the floor where the younger students went to class, considering how low their jackets were hung. On page 9, we see a jock in his football uniform, along with some other jocks walking about in the background, with a crowd cheering on them, possibly taken from the big game mission. Aside from the minor details in the image, something piqued my interest when reading the description above. Quote, apart from football, we also offer a range of other fiercely competitive sports including soccer, wrestling, boxing, dodgeball, and swimming. Well, boxing and swimming are 2 sports that Bullworth Academy actually does not feature in the official version. Moving on to page 10, you'll notice that suddenly the scoreboard has changed over to how it looks in the official version. Turning over to the next page, you'll notice quite a lot of different stuff in the bottom image. First of all, the gym looks very different from the official version. On the wall, you can see a climbing ladder along with some extra details here and there. And on the far left, you'll see what looks like a boxing ring along with those things that most of you people were probably forced to climb during gym class in real life. Remember, Rockstar mentioned that the academy would feature boxing as an activity. It's unknown whether or not this was moved over to the preps or if they initially had plans on including it as a gym class activity. You'll also see that the nerds had a different pose for when standing still, and that the preps also had a slightly different posture where they puffed out their chests a bit more. Jimmy also had a shittier posture than he does in the official version. You can also see that there are 3 preps featured on this screenshot along with a student right next to Tad. It's kinda hard to tell just who it is, but it's possible that it was another prep. It's clear that at this point in development, the characters had not been given their gym class appearances just yet. And on page 13, we have some more awesome beta stuff. First of all, you can see that the movie theater originally read Friday nights only, instead of sequel the movie as it does in the retail version. You can also notice that Pinky is in her beta uniform, along with a couple of students in their respective beta uniforms as well. But what caught my interest the most is the town person in between Jimmy and Pinky. This person has black hair, a beard, blue jacket, red tie, and dark gray pants. It's unknown whether or not this was a beta version of Mr. Sullivan or if this was a character that Rockstar simply scrapped from the game. And on the right side, we can see what looks like the beta version of Dr. Bambillo, where he sports facial hair in the form of a goatee, instead of a mustache. This image was probably taken from the movie tickets mission. The image below shows Jimmy inside of the Dragon's Wing store, but hold on, what's this? Dragon's Head. Interesting. It looks like the original logo for the store was a dragon's skull and not just the head of a dragon. It also appeared that Jimmy was unable to enter the basement as it's clearly blocked off by a closed door with some posters on the front of it. The counter originally had some more comic books, along with a TV on the side of it. The top of the shelf on the right side also had some toy figurines on it, along with a telescope and a ladder on the right side leaning against it. And on the left shelf, we can see that there were some miniature toy cars, along with a stereo on the top. The comic books below were later replaced with whatever the fuck these things are. It also looks like some of the pinup girls were taken out and replaced with duplicates of the same variant. Perhaps they were a bit too risque for the T rating. And finally, on page 14, we see a beautiful artwork of how Bulworth Vale originally was supposed to look like. A classic car is featured promptly, along with a fuck ton of trees and street lights that go off in the distance. There's really not much I can say about this image, aside from the fact that it looks really fucking cool. The end. So that was all the info that the press kit had to offer. If you guys would like to learn more about the beta version of Bully, then make sure to check out my video series titled Beta Bully, which goes in depth into the removed beta features of Bully. Also, if you'd like to read this book for yourself, then click the annotation on the screen. Thanks for watching.